Cancer, this is just a quick read on Root for You, general read. This one's actually going to be for the month of June 2023. So take it as it resonates, just a general read. If it's your story, great. If not, try back. This one again is June 2023. You're all on a different timeline. So if it plays out a little further out into July, as it goes. And certainly, if this is something that you're currently experiencing, I find energies, like any problem or any conditions of sorts, they usually play out not just in a 2 week period or just in 1 month. I mean, energy is always fluid, so it's always kind of moving, trailing through, and we're going back to problems, working on it, and then going back into a flow and so on. So, anyway, this is kind of the general energy. It's not predictions, it's energy, so you can always move it, change it, and review your own sense of thought going forward. So anyway, what I see here is it's almost like some advancement is really coming through this month. The month of June seems to be where you're getting clear on the direction, and there's definitely advancement forward. It's like you are actually in a place now where you are releasing something. I think when I did a previous read there, you were still at the cycle of a 9. Well, now you are in the cycle of the 10. So this might go on, that final residual might go into July. Like I said, for some of you, you processed it differently. Not everybody resolves their problems all on the same day, that kind of thing. But certainly the energy is that you are kind of finishing up. Now, in the month of June, you are ready to make some kind of a move forward. And there is energy here that shows me you are upscaling something. So we'll kind of start it out there. This is just sort of the general idea of it, and then we'll just kind of, go into more specifics as we go through. So the ace is definitely the indicator. The main energies that came out was, of course, High Priestess, as well as the Ace of Swords. So everything that was unseen is now becoming clear. So it may not be everything, but literally, but it certainly does indicate that there is some advancement toward a direction where you were trying to get clear on how to advance forward, and that is now happening. So the Ace of Swords, like I said, it's a new idea, a new promise. There's potential, and it's still something that's in the early stages. The fact that it's swords means I feel like there is some level of communication. This could be writing for some. Usually when I see swords and a lot of wands, that kind of thing, that indicates more of a written sort of thing for me. But there could still be levels of that coming through. It's just at the early stages, and so maybe that's not why the inspiration and all of that isn't leveling out here. But right now, like I said, the Ace of Swords is still an indicator that you're in the beginning stage of getting clear on an idea or something that was a challenge to you, something that wasn't really clear, and it's really a breakthrough moment is what I would say here, because it's coupled right next to the High Priestess. So this is a breakthrough moment. This is something that's a new idea, or at least it's an idea that you were trying to figure out how to get through something, overcome a hurdle, because you've got all these hurdles over here, and then it's just like, oh, that's what I can do. You know what I mean? It's that aha moment. And especially too, because we've also got the Emperor down here as well, and the Emperor is somebody who takes charge. So I feel like you're in a place now where everything's just becoming clear, and there's a lot of self-discipline and control that's being exercised in the month of June. You're taking action. There's a lot of information now that you have going forward, so, and again, it's not just with the one sword. It's a lot of cards here in the beginning of June that are really helping you to sort of set yourself free. So I do feel like it's a very constructive energy, because air sort of cuts through all of the things that might have hindered your motion, that kind of thing. But you are resolving an old problem, basically, and this is where you're going to take advantage of your opportunities. So things won't seem like they're at so much odd, because you have the ability to think clearly in a situation here. Even in terms of an emotional situation, although most of that I do see sort of further out, or at least there's an inkling that there is something emotionally that might be, coming into play further out. I don't know that the energy is specifically in June, but it's like there's a hint of kind of flirty energy or an offer or something that comes through. There's just a little bit of a communication in the month of June. And so I'm just going to leave it on at that, because it seems like you needed to kind of release, all this pent up emotion here, and baggage before you're really able to kind of get right with yourself to move into any kind of relationship anyway. So there's levels of decision making, I feel, that will probably be coming through or following through because you've got a lot of mental clarity, and this is like piercing ideas that are going to, help you to level something up or move it into a space where you can actually, um, have just a better understanding of where you're headed. So, as far as advice, I would still say that, well, let's just maybe kind of go through the rest of this a little bit further before I kind of get right into that. But again, even with the High Priestess, the major energy is the High Priestess. So this is the card who says, all the hidden factors, all the things that were unknown to me, or a lot of it, where I wasn't seeing the full picture, are now starting to make sense. That's the main energy out here. That's the major arcana. Everything else is just sort of, minor sort of new entry stages of development. We also have something in around family and the family front where there is sort of a token or a positive offering. And this could be you too as well, in sort of a reciprocal mode, but there is definitely some kind of advancement or assistance or action, something along that line that is kind of helping to, help in the situation that's in around your foundation or in around family or in around something that you're trying to stabilize here as well. But again, there's even parts of your personality that are coming through a lot clearer. So if there were parts of you that you were unsure of, I feel like that is starting to even become a lot more clear about who you are and what's available as resources to you. But it's not even just that. It's like this can also be kind of a teaching energy because it's very locked in that framework of logical head over heart sort of thought processes. So again, whatever was concealed, everything's on the table here for you to kind of make sense out of it. And I feel like it's still in line with, a conventional sort of system or thought pattern, beliefs, that kind of thing. There's nothing that's striking and unusual. It's very structured energy for you in the month of June. Again, a lot of wise energy that's still coming through here. There is still that energy of trying to release something, that is still, is kind of the residual of that energy with the Ten of Swords. But overall, I feel like, whatever you didn't have the full story of before, you're going to be able to work through that energy a lot easier now because you've got more available to you. Again, water sign, very prevalent, could also be you in this reading here as well. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that kind of thing. But it's still, kind of going back to your foundations, going back to your core belief systems, that kind of thing. I feel like in this energy, you're very self, oriented and very locked or trapped in your own mind. But again, you're trying to find your own truth. You're trying to find, what it is that, redefines you, I guess, maybe is what I would say here, because you have to shift your perspective here with the Hanged Man energy. You have to, make the unknown known, and that's what's happening here in this month. So you are making something possible here. And again, it's still in the energy of being receptive and intuitive and all of that, but at least your path is a lot clearer for you to take the first step. And again, that's what I see here is a lot of first steps. You've got curiosity, you've got sort of that teaching energy as well coming through here, or at least there's a sense of empowerment, feeling that, you are, could be dealing with an Aries person here as well for some, but you're feeling like you're more in control of a situation, even though you're just sort of stepping out here in a new territory, is what I would say with that Page of Swords. And I feel like you are also in that place of, realizing that you are good enough. You know what I mean? There's something here that says with the High Priestess getting clear, you're good enough, and you know that you have something of value to operate in the world, things that you do, whether you fail fail fast is what they say. You know, whatever you're trying to attain, learn the process by failing quickly, and then that way you get through to figure out all the answers of what the next step is, and the next step, and the next step. And every time you take another step, you're more empowered, you get more information, and then it's a better way of, you know, advancing. And of course, once you have that information, you're able to also be a lot more of a fearless sort of leader, or also, you know, direct other people, because you're doing it from a place where you're learned. This is where you actually were able to pick up the information, learn it for yourself, establish a new set of ideas, and get things in motion. So that's why, you know, that a lot of successful people say fail fast, because the faster you fail, the quicker the information comes, and then you see your personal path, you know, before you. So whatever again was hidden is now going to be becoming more and more clear. You're still in the beginning stages of trying to achieve what you want here, but again, it feels like there's other people that are involved here in bringing this to, you know, bringing it forward, so that you've got some support, is what I would say here, that's going to help advance you. And whatever that, it's not a specific career move necessarily that I see here, but however this resonates for you. Again, we also have that energy of I mean, even with the Emperor over here, even though it's secondary to the main energies, which are up here, and again, the main player is that you've just discovered something, disclosed something to yourself. You now are aware of something, to be able to move it forward. And again, it's a combination of people, or a cluster, or a community, or a group that are still in connection to help you move this forward in June. Again, Emperor energy is still, you know, in a place of doing things the right way, very structured energy. It is somebody who, you know, is not afraid of the challenge, you know, because an obstacle is, it's okay that you're facing the obstacle, because this is somebody who makes the plan, you know, to figure out, how do I get around the obstacle? And this is somebody who carries things out and will continue to do it until they have a successful end. So it's a really strong organizational ability to plan and communicate effectively, and, you know, go forward in a very specific, direct way. And again, it's using head over heart sort of energy here, is what I would say in the month of June is kind of your your superpower, I guess, is what I would say, to move you forward. So again, it's putting plans into action, carrying things out. Definitely has the energy of a lot of organization and structure, because of the energy of not just the Emperor, but this is sort of underlying everything else here, even with the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is somebody who does the research. This is somebody who takes the first step. This is somebody who is very curious, doesn't mind kind of exploring things to be able to figure it out, because they, you know, it's kind of a spying energy in some way, but it's also energy around, you know, I'm curious enough to figure out what I don't understand, and I have no problems, you know, kind of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius also again coming through here. But it's a curious mind, you know, this is somebody who doesn't mind researching topics, and, you know, using their intellectual mind, and using that as the, you know, using it in their sense of purpose. So whatever you do, you're negotiating it, or you're communicating it well. You're using a lot of mental energy, and it's more along the lines of just carrying out your ideas through specific concepts, or specific directions, or following rules, that kind of thing. But it's also having, you know, powerful skills of observation, can read a room really well, that kind of thing. So, but again, it's still you moving into a new phase of your life. And I say that because over here, I've got other cards that I'll be pulling through as well with the Chariot, and I'll go through those later. But just for the sake of space and time, I'm just going through what's in front right now. So I will get to those. And I do have a few other cards as well, as far as advice. But anyway, so where we are right now, again, is just carrying out with the Page of Swords. So again, still a lot of energy around figuring out, problem solving. You know, this is somebody who isn't afraid to kind of clear up the air by tending to the issues in life, getting back on track, all of that. So it can also be a little bit of a nervous energy here, because there's that energy of wanting to kind of react very quickly in a situation here, especially when it's next to the Seven of Wands. But overall, there is still some effort that is being it's driven by a connection, or a group of people, or a community of people that are helping to get you back on track, or get a situation back on track. So But again, you have a lot of kind of natural, instinctive, you know, voice of reason. You're the voice of reason in a situation. I feel that you may not always apply it to yourself, but you do when you do use your self-talk. If you're giving advice to other people, take your own advice as well. But I feel that you are that person who is, kind of communicates with a voice of reason. You're somebody who really does have practical knowledge in the world, and I feel like that is how you operate in the world, although again sometimes we neglect ourselves in that same vein. But again, we've got Seven of Wands energy. You have the upper hand in a situation. So there is something here with, again, the sevens, which does indicate that there's a certain level of order that's involved here, multiple options, and it definitely is a triumphant kind of card with that Seven of Wands. You are still in a place of having the upper hand, like I said. Seven of Wands is not afraid to stand up for yourself in a certain, you've got a lot of conviction over whatever opposes you. I feel like you have the advantage because you're not it's not that you're uncompromising. You are okay to negotiate and communicate well and that kind of thing, but I feel like you do so in a place of, I'm going to research whatever I need to research, and then I'll research it again if I need to research it, because the Seven of Wands is asserting yourself, but it's based on a certain conviction. It's not, you might have a strong reaction to to this new direction as well, but you're facing the situation, by, kind of relying on this group of people or this assistance or this help of some sort here. Again, this could be that there's a new skill that you're developing, and maybe this is in knowledge, or maybe this is in your wisdom, something here. There's a new level of skill that you're acquiring to be able to move this ahead. Again, there could be some kind of writer knowledge here. And again, maybe this is just still dealing with things in a practical way. It's not a lot of insightful. Well, it is insightful, but it's not a lot of like sudden inspiration over an idea. It's more like dealing with the practical aspects of life, or dealing with the practical aspects of a situation. So if I choose to write every day, I'm writing every day. If I choose to do a particular activity every day, I will do that activity every day. That's kind of the energy around this. So you're not hesitating. Your point of view is very direct in how you're communicating. But again, it's you putting one foot in front of the other, involving other people so that you can advance and learn the knowledge, to strike out on your own and be able to develop some new skill here. Again, as I said, I feel like there's not a lot of energy here around warm, receptive, open, that kind of thing. There's not a lot of loving energy here. I feel toward the end of maybe June or even into July, there is energy around that small token kind of energy. But right now, I feel like you might be still, maybe there's a situation where you're afraid to get hurt here, but you're wrapping, or you're going through that, like going through the healing process, through that healing phase, and just getting clearer on what it is that you want in your life and who you want to spend it with. Maybe it doesn't have to be a person, but the qualities of the things that you want in life are being considered here, because you've got the Magician energy. So the Magician energy is, again, all around, you're incorporating things here with that Seven of Wands, to make something happen so that you have the advantage. But again, you're still in manifestation mode. But the main energy out here is, of course, the Six of Swords. And that energy is an indicator that there is progress being made in the direction that you're trying to move yourself. So again, it's progress. I don't see complete change in it just yet, but the progress is heralding some, like I said, you've got an upper hand, you've got a real clear thought on how you're going forward now, and it's like everything is going to just start moving ahead with the Seven of Swords. So, or sorry, with the Ten of Swords, end of cycle. But the Six of Swords is definitely progress in this direction. And also with the Six of Swords, there could be a little bit of, communication that's are starting to improve in around the manifestation energy, because Magician is a powerful card, but again, it's still reflected in skill building. So there's progress in you building up your skills here. You already have a lot of the abilities. You just need to maybe fine tune them and craft things a little bit a little, you're adding more to it, so having the base knowledge of something, or having the base ability, or having the intuitive idea of how something should work, but not really knowing how to implement it entirely, is kind of where this sort of stands. The Magician, like I said, is a card of having those abilities, but just you need to explore it, how to bring it into fruition, like how to bring it into the real world, which I feel you're starting to do here, because there's some concrete energy here, with the Three of Pentacles. And again, that's kind of leveling up sort of energy. So again, I feel like there is going to be better communication here next to the Six of Swords. I do feel like you are working on developing your skills, and you are constructing, a reasonable strategy here, going forward. You are finally able to release something, some of this pain, or some of this whatever, because you're able to advance yourself. Even though you're still at a bit of a crossroads, it's about to turn. So again, Ten of Swords energy next to that Magician. You are in the final stages of something, kind of moving into a better, something of achievement for you anyway. You're using your skills anyway. You're going to be able to use your skills and make some progress in this new direction. I feel like even with, the Magician, that's really having faith in your abilities, and that knowledge is power kind of thing here as well, because you also have the High Priestess. So knowledge is power for sure in this month. And I feel head over heart, that kind of energy, as I said, but I feel like your wishes are being realized through your natural inclination to learn more, and I feel like there's a real strong determination. Like I said, the willpower is there, but it's, because you're taking practical steps, but you also have, excuse me, a lot of energy around, because the Magician is esoteric, and so is, so it's more receptive energy there, that's still, it's, that's helping you to kind of advance or grow something with the High Priestess. So again, it's knowledge that you're using in a very spectacular kind of way, because like I said, I mean, the Magician knows, the High Priestess is the person who has the ability to tap into resources or information, knows where to look. This person is super curious, definitely does the research and is taking steps forward to make that happen. Strong conviction, I would say, very strong energy around how someone, how you're moving forward. But again, with the manifestation, power, empowerment kind of card here, it's energy that is going to be life changing and is really going to upgrade your life over the long haul. But again, you've got, like with that Magician, it's skillful manipulation of how you're moving forward. I don't want to say manipulation, maybe is not the right word, but it's you knowing how to apply the knowledge in the right way. You know what I mean? Like, you're not taking on everything and just doing it all at one go. You're doing one step at a time to put, answers to your questions, that kind of thing. But you're using metaphysical knowledge, is what I would say here, to kind of bring about your resolve. Ten of Swords, as I said, you're at the 10, so this is an end card. It's a transformation. It's a renewal cycle. You might be carrying this forward a little bit into July, but by June, I feel like you are going to be completing some kind of cycle where you're feeling like you're in control of your life again. The Crossroads energy is going to be finishing up here in the month of June, so by July, I suspect there is going to be some kind of, new beginning, because this is kind of preparation for that new beginning, or for that progress, for that advancement. But it's definitely around growth for sure, or progress, I would say. Growth maybe is progress, but growth not in, wands are more around the growth sort of element. But I think with the swords, this is more along getting things right in my head to be able to move something forward. So again, Six of Swords energy, very strong about a turning point here and a situation improving. So there's a transition, again, some possible travel that's being involved here. But I feel like you are in this place of maybe even taking a vacation, but the situation overall is improving, and there is going to be some kind of different experience for you up ahead here, likely starting in June, or the plans are being made here in June. and there is going to be some kind of I don't want to say setback, because I don't feel like this is a setback. I feel like you're just at the turning point for something, with that Ten of Swords as well as the Hanged Man. You're at the turning point for something here. And I even say that too, more so because the Wheel of Fortune sort of turns up here further out. And I feel like that's where, you're kind of moving out of the old cycle, moving out of the old browbeaten, mental anguish sort of feeling, and kind of you're more in a place of, okay, now I've done torturing myself, now I'm going to prepare for something and just make it happen. And so it's more of a planning stage in the month of June, but you're actually making some real solid progress in the month of June. So your progress is progressing, your communication is progressing. And again, even with the level of the Hangman energy, I mean, this is still, it's still progress, because it's kind of in that place of, I'm pulling back for a second here to kind of figure out how I'm going to bounce this forward. But I'm transitioning. I'm in that place where I am at a crossroads, and I'm about to walk over the threshold and make a decision, or to have something take place anyway. I would still say with the Hangman energy, I don't feel like it's a stuck energy in this case. I think that you have worked through something here. The reason why I say that is because with the Hangman over here, next to the Ten of Swords, that's almost like that stuck energy's finished. So that's why I say that stuck energy is finished, and you're into the place of the Four of Wands. So the Four is about creating all that balance. This is where your foundation is starting to, show up here because of discipline and strategy and stability. And the things that you were able to manifest now are becoming a lot more solid in their structure, in the way that something is going to come about for you. So the Wands, of course, are still about, ideas and growth, and maybe even something around spring is relevant for you here as well. But like I said, Four of Wands is still speaking to some kind of growth here, but it's growth around your home front, or in around things that you consider stable or ground, something that's going to give you a sense of, I have something to hang on to here. This is where I kind of make my next step. I take my next move, or make my next move, because the Four of Wands, like I said, is a card of even a new residence, or traveling to something that feels like home. But it's either way feeling safe and secure in the month of June. And I do feel like whatever changes that you're making are on solid footing. This is something where you have a chance to really build on something, because you are in a place of a lot of new things still coming through. Because like I said, I mean, you feel like you're empowered and strong, but you're still at the Ace of Swords, where things are just, just getting clear in your head. You've strategized, you've made some plans, you've got something organized, and certainly with the Four of Wands, you feel like this is a pretty good plan. And I feel like it is a good plan, because you do have some energy around, well, because mostly as well, you've already taken a lot of the ground steps, you're following the rules, and you're kind of doing things in such a way that news is good that's coming in here with the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. That's good news that's coming in around the home front. So again, really good energy that way. And again, where you were stuck, I feel like that residual energy may still be present in June, but it's pretty much finishing up a cycle. You're ready to move into some new direction here. Like I said, I mean, the cards overall are really speaking to you kind of making that progress and getting ready for the next phase of your life. And not only that, but like I said, the Four of Wands is grounded. I would say it's grounded card for partnerships, relationships, that kind of thing, and maybe just family situations here where you do still have a sense of connection or happiness. Something there is still quite strong, but I don't see a lot of cards around relationship status necessarily. So I'm going to veer away from that one right now, but I still feel like you have even possibly, I don't want to say necessarily celebration with friends, but it could be. But there is something here with the Three of Pentacles indicating that, there is some kind of other involvement with other people that, you've had to sort of structure something around. and that's helped you to kind of bring something into a stable position. um yeah, and as far as money goes, I don't see lots in terms of money. There is a level of something improving here, though, but again, it's through a connection of some sort. But I feel most of this is in around, uh, you being able to make something work for you over the long term is what I would say there, because there's still a lot of energy that's building here on a scale. And even when I see the Knight of Cups further out over here, that's a clarifier to the energy around, around the family and that kind of thing. Again, water sign yourself could be present as the, empowerment card. But I feel like there's more of, it's not a king energy where you're calm, cool, collected necessarily, but there is energy around being a lot more, feeling a lot more solid emotionally, feeling a lot more grounded is what I would say there. So even though there's just something coming in up ahead, possibly in July, like I said, you're still not quite in that energy yet in June. But Knight of Cups is somebody who's got a rapid emotional development is coming through here by the end of that month. And again, some of you, it might be a little further out into July, but I feel like that's when you start focusing on your happiness. That's when you start focusing on the things that make you happy. That's when you start focusing more on your emotional well-being, that kind of thing. Right now, I feel like you're just trying to stay out of your head and just try to do things in a practical mode. Especially in that beginning energy. But I feel overall, this is some kind of new experience that's going to be up ahead emotionally for you, as well as, um, I feel like you're starting to become a lot more open or receptive, or you know what I mean? Like your heart is starting to warm up, put it that way. I don't feel like you are feeling as guarded um, by the end of the month. And again, it just feels like because there's some progression and some improvement of some sort, in the direction that you want to go, that's why I feel you're taking that position. And again, it's not a direct focus on emotion, but you are starting to feel a lot happier about the direction that you're going in, or maybe that there's just progress overall. Because even with the Page of Cups, this could be, usually when I see it with other cards around, there could be an apology of some sort. But either way, I feel like this card with the Page of Cups is kind of a um, more of a more of that energy around. I am feeling a lot more intuitive. Again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, it's a water sign. But I feel like I'm ready for a new beginning. I'm feeling like I want to expand now. Things are moving in an upward cycle. There's a lot more development. And I feel like I'm getting, more connection spiritually. I feel more connected to myself. Again, I feel like I'm listening to my intuition. Uh, Sorry, and it just feels like all around, Page of Cups is telling you that you are moving your emotions into a more positive state. So again, like I said, there's just a lot of energy here about you following a true path or being more open to the path. And there's more sense of inner stillness toward the end of the month. You've resolved something, or you've come to a conclusion about something, and there is progress. And like I said, I just want to go through the last final cards here. So I'm just going to pull these forward and bring the other ones, and then I'll give you the advice cards. Okay, so what I am finishing up here with, is we've got the Chariot, strong drive, ambition. We also have, a lot of movement that's starting to come through here, although it's kind of in and out, in and out. We also have leaving something behind, all of the toxicity and of the devil, and this was actually, these ones kind of came out like this, and these came out as a cluster. So I feel like what you're leaving behind is the toxicity, the feeling of lack. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not, whatever. But we also have the Hermit energy. So you really process this. You've learned some, deep truths here now, and you are ending up on the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is the card card of coming full cycle around. So like I said, that Hermit energy means you've really processed a lot of lessons here. You know, you've been searching for your truth, and you will probably continue to search for your truth, but you've learned enough or found enough of your answers that you can complete a project or move something to a deeper level, or feel like you're more in touch with yourself, or feel more illuminated, stronger, that kind of thing. So, you know, every step that you've gone inward has helped you to find a little bit more of yourself. And maybe you were just tying up loose ends. Maybe you had to deeply immerse yourself in all of this pain and toxicity to be able to finally say, oh my God, just let it go already. You know, I need something in my life that's going to be more positive. So I feel like it's almost like you've over toxified yourself and you're now in that place of, I'm just done with it. It's almost like you browbeat yourself to the point where you just feel like, you know, whatever is going to be will be, kind of thing. So the Hermit is where you finish that end of a crossroads, which was the Hanged Man. These are the cards, again, final cards out, where you're just, you've grown now. You've grown to a point where you actually can get some level of answer, because you can trust your inner process, you can trust that inner compass, that kind of thing. And again, the energy is still around you being able to even teach others as well, because of all the pain that you've sort of suffered. You will be able to identify or relate to and assist others in that same kind of way. But again, it's coming out of the darkness because you've done so much of this soul searching. And you might have even felt like you were kind of a misfit because everything just didn't feel like it lined up. You didn't feel connected. You didn't feel good enough. You felt alone. There was a lot of solitude, solitary energy here. But again, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is that cycle wrapping up. This is where you can expect the unexpected, and it's going to be not all smooth sailing, of course, but there is a little bit of luck for every problem you're going to encounter now. So, you know, again, because you've learned the lessons, it's almost like this is part of the game plan. You know, you've learned the lessons, you get to move to the next level. And so this is where things are going to have some changes coming in for you. And again, there's new methods that you might be applying to a situation, because it's a turning point in your life. And this is where, you know, there's a lot more stability, a lot more synchronicity, things lining up, that kind of thing. And again, it's sort of the, you know, everything from the past is culminated to this point now where you actually do get to see a little bit of that luck coming through for you. So something is helping you to see that, oh, I can trust the process. I can trust myself. I can trust some of the decisions that I make, you know, because that Wheel of Fortune is a card of sort of balancing things out. And it's where you've had a lot of suppressed emotions and where there's been resistance to change as well, which has caused that emotional imbalance. But I feel like now you're going to have more of an open mind, be a lot more flexible. You feel like you can breathe again here. So this is why you're going to be able to move in this new divine direction, that kind of thing. And again, it's because you've discovered your core strength, and your core strength comes from your wisdom. It comes from your mindset. So, you know, you've triumphed over all of this. It's not to say it'll never resurface again, but because you have gone through this process, you know, the quicker you are to say, all right, you know, I'm feeling this lack of security and whatever, but I've done this before. I felt this way before, you know, just get over it. I just got to believe in myself. I am good enough. I can, you know, complete or continue or move in this direction, or I can, you know, detoxify myself from relationships or toxic things in my body that don't work for me. You've got some lessons here that you can implement now. So again, it's your choice. It's always your choice, but it's still, you know, that you are. Seven of Wands, like I said before, was where you were integrating some of those lessons, but you do have the wisdom now to get through this. So again, it's not that you're not going to go through any of these difficulties at the new level, because you will. It'll just be at a new level, and it might even be at more of a heightened level because you are at a new level. But because it's at a heightened level, you have to remember, use the wisdom of those previous lessons here. So again, just to kind of reflect back on the Chariot, this is the ultimate card of success and choosing a direction, and very ambitious, has a lot on the go. This is somebody who is ready to achieve. This is somebody who really has the energy of, I want something in my life. I want to see something manifest. But again, it's okay to prepare yourself for, you know, some of this, you know, insecurity and failure and people not making you feel like you connect, or a relationship sort of putting you on the outs, that kind of thing. Because the point is you now have a new level of understanding about yourself, so you won't take it as deep. You won't take it as personal. even though I feel like you're a pretty deep person to be able to, deal with high levels of toxicity, high levels of maybe even, addictions or addictive negative thoughts, whatever that is for you. And certainly a lot of emotional, turning your back on things. And there's been this lack of money, lack of security, all of that to be able to take on that level of, I don't want to say self-hatred exactly, but a lot of really, darker energy. I think that goes to show that if you've learned the lessons, now you just have to make sure that when the lesson repeats, like when you are tested, because you're now going to be at a new level, when that comes up again, it's more a matter of quickly implement the tool, the energy around the level of wisdom, the lessons you've learned, and then you'll get out of it a lot faster here. Again, whatever the take charge energy of the Chariot is here, again, I feel like it's a little bit back and forth. So I do feel like you still are moving in the direction of your goal, but again, it's kind of two steps forward, one step back. You're kind of weeding away through some of the process. You don't really quite know what the direction entirely is or what it entails. So I feel like you're kind of testing the waters here. So this is like, I am determined and I have a lot of willpower to move in this new direction. And I feel like I am more interested in this direction. But again, with that Knight of Wands energy, I feel like the journey is, I'm creating myself, but I have to kind of, I'm going to take this, I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. I'm not going to just jump right in and just, go without any kind of forethought. I feel like you are testing the waters. That's what it feels like with that Knight of Wands. You're testing the waters. You're not just jumping right in. You really want to know that you're making the right decisions about something. So you're kind of flirting with the idea, flirting with this, dabbling with this, with that. That's the energy I feel with the Knight of Wands. So again, I feel like you're a traveler, you're ready for a new adventure here, and you definitely are eager to get ahead with something. But I just feel like maybe certain things still have to open up and fall into the right place, but that's coming. And again, it's still an indicator that there could even be a little bit of travel up ahead here as well. So there's a lot of cards that kind of move in that direction. So again, whether this is travel for work or something, but there's still something here that is kind of a feeling that, things will take a turn for the better, although it's, still kind of energy around explosive kind of anger here as well because of that combination. Maybe a little bit quick to overreact to situations, that kind of thing, but you are seeking a new challenge here nonetheless. And you're trying to control things at all levels, like at the level that you're working at. So I feel like you will, I feel like you're, feeling a little bit bored, like I said, and that's, you don't really want to stick around in any particular area at this point. Your direction, you're feeling out, you don't, it's almost like you're searching for something but you're just testing all the waters in all of these different directions. So it's not you want a successful path, but I don't know that it's certain as to exactly what that path is for you just yet. So something is still a little bit in flux. So again, whether this is about traveling, whether this is about a relationship kind of energy, or whether this is about the actual direction or choice that you have to make, maybe you're sort of flirting with the idea of, do I go in this direction or that? But anyway, June, that's where things are at. A lot of planning, a lot of movement. There's persistence here. Again, you are just getting rid of all this toxic energy here that was mounting up, and you are ready for the new cycle. And just to kind of wrap it up into the final card here, because we do have the other cards out for the advice. I want to just take you into those. But again, even when we get into that Chariot just a little bit more, just know that that is still a card of really having a successful, don't want to give up attitude. You have a lot of persistence, and you are equipped for that as well. And again, even with that card of change up ahead here, I feel like you just don't give up. You just keep going. You just keep going. This is really strong motivational energy here with the Chariot, like toward any kind of goal, whatever that goal is for you. So again, it does feel like there could be some explosive kind of energy emotionally, but I feel like, you have the wisdom now to kind of keep certain things under wrap. and correct the problems, that kind of thing. You just have to allow yourself some time to work through whatever the situation is, and then you'll be illuminated with whatever it has to come forward. So again, but yeah, the Chariot energy, like I said, that's the main player out here. And again, even with the World card, I mean, that's just overall success, well, change of a situation. It's a change of a situation coming in for you by June. And I feel like you're just on the precipice of it. So if it doesn't happen in June, it will very just shortly thereafter happen for you, but you are just in the process of making a lot of the plans here with all the preceding or the earlier cards here. So again, just to wrap it up, success is coming in with this card. It's fortunate changes. It's the opportunity to expand and increase yourself in a particular way. And I feel like you are overcoming your limitations here. I feel like you're not going to be berating yourself anymore, even if people make you feel awkward or inconsiderate or whatever. I feel like you are okay operating on your own energy now. Like I feel like you don't see every person's problem as your own, or you don't feel like the negative attitudes or something that are towards you. I don't feel like you're taking it in as deep now. I feel like you have some limitations, some boundaries, where you're going to be able to, handle what's coming in here. Like I said, because you're leveling up, you're at the next level here. So again, even in terms of finances and money, it's something that is going to be, you're going to be acquiring some money or something, or fortune further out, because these are both cards of success, where you're starting out and where you're ending up and get ready to move into this new level. So again, there's going to be new heights, new challenges that are going to be darker than this, but I feel like you now have a quicker response because of the lessons. You just have to incorporate it right away before you start feeling too deep into this I'm not good enough energy or whatever. You now have something that you can work with. So now we're just going to kind of jump right into the other cards of advice, and then we'll wrap it up there. Okay, so cards cards out, Archangel Power Tarot deck. We're the Chariot, again repeated, so clearly self-determination, self-control are important in this period for June, for you to have some kind of career advancement or advancement of success in some way. You definitely have, again, as a repeat card, Ace of Gabriel. There's a gift of passion or an opportunity or something that's coming through that's going to re-inspire you and kind of reignite things, and this is just going to open you up entirely. So you're feeling a lot more that you can trust your own, your own lessons. You can trust your own judgment. Four of Raphael, seeking out other possibilities and looking for the magic in life. Be aware of your own emotions. So four is all about balance. And so instead of just diving into all the negatives that you previously had done, this is where you can actually, you now have some other possibilities because you give yourself the time to sort of reflect on it with that hermit energy and pause before you act. Ace of Raphael. And again, your more head over heart sort of matters in how you deal with things now. And I feel like that's your superpower. So Ace of Raphael, a positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationships, deep and lasting spiritual insight. So I feel more on this. I didn't see a lot of cards around emotional stuff until toward the end of June, but I still feel like that may be something that's burgeoning here by the end of June. There might be some more of an emotional connection to something or a group of people or a new situation, whatever it is, you're feeling happier. Nine of Michael, your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, worry, and give that to your angels. So I feel like whatever changes that are coming about here in the month of June, don't take the time to ponder too long, because you're at a 9 with the 9 of Michael. And you had the 10 of Swords where things were pretty much wrapping up. So 5 of Raphael, there is a change. Everything happens for a reason. Release the regret and the and embrace the opportunities for happiness and search for the silver lining. So changing your mindset is going to be your savings grace. That is going to be your superpower. Like I said, the fact that you now have the knowledge and the wisdom, you realize that worrying is just, and that's why it's the clarifier underneath the Ace of Gabriel. Worry is just you expending all your time, energy, and effort into something that doesn't really give you any resolve. So again, you're taking the mindset of one foot in front of the other. It's a logical place that you are coming from to be able to make your decisions. And I feel like that is the thing that is your savings grace. And again, there is a change up ahead here where things happen for a reason. So you're having to release something, and that is under the card of balance. So I feel like you are releasing something. It won't all happen in 1 month. It's probably going to be a residual over the course of, sometimes we go back and we reflect on emotions or a situation and wonder how it would have worked out, whatever. But the point is that it's still a place where you are more aware of your emotions now, and you see that there's other alternatives and other ways to deal with your emotions, is what I would say there, because you're making a change there. Anyway, that's what I have for you, Cancer, for the month of June. And keep moving forward. Never give up.